Let's talk about rubber prices, which in Tokyo today declined on a third straight day on a stronger Japanese yen. The markets are awaiting the Chinese manufacturing data due on Thursday. In other reports, the International Rubber Study Group says that the global surplus for natural rubber may shrink this year and next as well because of the rising demand in US and in China. Production is set to outpace consumption by 179,000 metric tons in 2013. Meanwhile, the Indian imports may decline on drop in the domestic prices. How do you make sense of all of those information? For that, let's talk to Prachaya Jampasut. He's Managing Director, The Rubber Economist, and he joins us on a London phone line. Prachaya, hi, welcome to the show. I mean, the Rubber Study Group, the numbers that they are coming out with, how do you see them going forward?
What I see is that the rubber demand will pick up from last year. Last year we had a bad year. Rubber consumption declined by almost 1%. I see this year rubber consumption in North America and Europe, which were weak, very weak last year, will start showing some improvements. And together with that, I think together with China, it has been improving since last year, and that will help in rubber consumption to increase by a little bit over 1%.
So, Prachaya, how much of an improvement in prices are you expecting in 2013?
Rubber prices, depending on a lot of factors, there will be increasing rubber supply. But to me, rubber price in the short run is currency exchange very important. To me, I see that US dollars may be depreciating this year. And for that reason, I believe that rubber price, that will help rubber price to increase this year, together with the slowly improving in rubber demand.
Prachaya, in percentage terms, would you stick your neck out and give out a number, whether you expect a 10%, 15% of a gain up coming into prices?
Well, I'm looking at the TSR20, which is just around over 3 kilograms per US dollars. Maybe will increase to over 3.5 or 3.75 cents, by the end of the year. So we increase to 350 to 375 by the end of 2013.
Sure. Prachaya, also a word on the Indian imports. They have been slightly on the lower side for the month of Jan. The domestic prices also have declined. The automobile sales numbers also have shown a bit of a decline. What kind of demand are you expecting to come in from India?
India, I think it's country unlike China. It's more steady. More steady in the longer term. We'll start some improvement soon. Because this depends a lot on India. It depends a lot on local demand and supply. Therefore, I believe that once toward mid of the year, things will start improving for India.
All right, Prachaya, I appreciate you taking your time out for us. So that's the view coming in from the Rubber Economist. They expect the prices to not only consolidate but gain up from here as well. The demand is improving from China, US, and of course, as he said, the Indian demand is expected to continue steady for rest of 2013 as well. To other agro space then, and the sugar futures today have hit a contract low on sluggish demand and a sharp drop in the overseas prices that have raised hopes of higher imports of raw sugar in the coming months. The raw sugar prices in the New York markets also settled close to 2.5-year lows as speculative investors and traders continue to sell the sweetener among concerns about growing surplus following forecast of a record crop from Brazil in this year's season. In edible oil space, you have soybean futures rising in tandem with the overseas markets, extending gains for a fourth session to hit their highest level in 3 weeks amid low supplies in the domestic markets. The soy oil prices, though, have seen a bit of a decline coming in. In pulses, chana prices rose on concerns over the yield of the crop due to cold wave, but higher area under cultivation and supplies from the new season crop restricted the upside. In spices, then, the pepper futures rose, tracking firm spot markets where winter demand was strong. Thin domestic supplies and lower stocks also are aiding the rise here. Turmeric futures also rose on some short covering, though the higher carry-forward stocks and expected supplies from the new season crop from Feb are weighing on the sentiment. Jeera futures declined on hopes of a greater area under cultivation and high output estimates as well. Deepen, what's your sense coming in for most of these spices, especially dhania? That is something that you follow or track quite closely.
Yeah, see, if we see what has happened is that we've seen some severe winter coming in the northern region, and that is why we are seeing that some part of the crop is likely to get damaged, or it could actually implicate the supply that could come into the crop in the later season, and that is why we are seeing that there is a very strong demand coming into dhania prices for the futures. and any dips in prices at around 6,900, 7,000 is taking great support and seeing a lot of buying in dhania commodity, and we could expect 7,500 on the higher side. So a patient investor could actually invest in dhania and see 7,500 in the upswing in a couple of sessions to come in trade.
Deepen, also, what's your sense coming in for maize now? How would you want to trade those prices?
Maize is reversely seeing some kind of profit booking, as we are seeing that now it is falling from the all-time high prices, and we could further see some profit booking coming into the maize prices. Thus, any rises at around 1400 level should be easily shorted at and with a strict stop loss of 1430, and we could see 1350 to 1300 on the lower side in a couple of sessions, trading sessions to come.
Vijay, what's your sense coming in for Mentha now? Would you say that it has done much of its up run, or do you still look at some steam upside?
Manisha, in my opinion, Mentha and crude palm oil both have run their course. The rally of the season for them is over, because as and when the temperature starts to climb from here, and your winter is at the fag end of its tenure, both Mentha and crude palm oil will basically start to fall in tandem. And this year's cold snap, in spite of this year's cold snap, Mentha oil has not done half as well as it did last year. So that basically tells you that the kind of speculative frenzy or the speculative froth that was in the price last year was kind of exuberant in comparison. So my guess is anything close to 1350, 1360 will get sold into, and at 1400 I think it's a very good short sell. Not that I'm expecting it to go there, but at this point in time I think 1220 seems to be a more realistic target than 1360.